Hey, my name's Louis and I'm working with Bradley to cover the negative effects on property development in Maidenhead. The three major issues we're covering is the increase in property value, the property development on greenbelt land and the property planning on historic listed buildings. It is also important to understand the associations that are looking to help these negative effects, such as the Maidenhead Neighbourhood Plan and the Thames Reach Residents Association, which we're going to be speaking to the chairman, Ian Burns, later on. The Maidenhead Town Council have been accepting property plans to destroy historic listed buildings such as the Thames Riviera, which we'll be covering later. According to a report, 86% of new property development is going to be placed over greenbelt land, which should be held for the community's living space. The historic listed buildings are kept so that it keeps the historic value and heritage of the town, but sadly this is being destroyed by the planning permission accepted by the town community. Later on we're going to be interviewing estate agents from Romans in Maidenhead, Sam Brown, about the property increase in value. This is affecting the first buyers who maybe won't be able to afford to deposit on a house, so maybe renting has gone up. The increase in value means that the poorer population may struggle to stay in the town where they were born. The Thames Riviera, or also known as the Blue River Cafe, has been in Maidenhead for over 130 years and is a gateway through the Maidenhead Bridge, which is one of the major trademarks for Maidenhead. Planning permission has recently been suspended, but looking to get planning permission to get rid of it for new property development. It's starting to make the historical value of the town worse, and it's becoming more industrialised and becoming more of an outer city of London. It's a shame to see the heritage of Maidenhead being slowly destroyed, and before we know it, the property could have overtaken Maidenhead. The new property is going to be bringing in a lot more people, which means a lot more jobs and a lot more money in the town, but there's also a lot of negative effects which we're hoping to raise during this documentary.
I currently work for a lettings company called Romans in Maidenhead, and we specialise in sales, lettings, mortgages and surveyors.
I will link the Facebook address video, but what information do the TRA provide on Facebook for the Maidenhead community?
Well, it's a new development because I'm used to doing Facebook for different organisations in my working life. The thing is to act as a kind of news conduit. So this is happening, let's have a meeting in the cafe to talk about something. It's just to make people aware. Before I did that, we had 2 newsletters a year. I mean, a newsletter is impossible to motivate local action, and Facebook is the greatest vehicle for doing that.
Yep.
Getting the people to use it and look at it is the other issue. Yeah.
What can you say about the current trend in the property market in Maidenhead at the moment?
Well, the property market, I think, for established properties, the value is just going up because of Crossrail, as we see it behind us. So what we're going to get is middle management workers in the city can't afford to live in London. They're going to live here as far as Reading, but they're going to, so you can see a 15-20% rise in property values in the next 3 years.
Yeah.
Well, it's on the increase really. We're starting quite low, but recently over the past few years, property has gone up massively since the recent developments and such things as refurbishing areas, Crossrail, and so many different factors have played a part in the increase. So I think the properties in Maidenhead will be more in demand, meaning the prices will go up. Having better commutes to London means more people can live outside of London without paying the London fees. Well, back in 2011, the average property in London was around 280,000, and recently in 2017 gone up to 440,000, which is a massive price difference in the space of only 6 years. So I think with that in mind, more people will be looking to move outside of the city and wanting to go into the city via.
What about the new property developments in Maidenhead?
New property developments, because we've got a few thousand properties coming up. I think that's good. The town overall is going to grow. Concern I got really, and we have, is the centre going to grow in terms of shopping and things like that? Because there are shops closing down in the centre because the rates are terrible. There's one shop there, the furniture shop on the corner, £1,000 a week in rent. So it's looking like only the large chains can actually afford to be in there. So it's fine that it's going to grow, but is the infrastructure there and the shopping and things like that?
Yeah.
Definitely. So as well as the Crossrail will be completed over the next few years, is the upcoming growing area, and it's going to massively increase the price, I believe. And with such great commutes to London, people are going to decide to live outside of the city. So back in 2005, the figure price for the first buyer would be about 250,000. Recently, 2017 has been measured to come over £460,000. First time buyers are really going to struggle. With mortgages, people are going to have to save up, and it's very difficult to get a mortgage at the moment. Times in your current salary by 3, and that's not. Lots of our young adults will not have a great salary at this point of their life, so it's going to make it very difficult for them to actually buy a property.
What is your opinion on the Maidenhead Borough local plan, so for number 1?
Yeah, I think the good thing is that the housing is going to increase, but the key thing is to have enough affordable housing and a mixture of housing. So it's fine increasing it for the sort of middle management, the high earners, that's fine. But what about a range of people in the community? So we've got to keep our eye on that.
And then the second point, conservation and heritage.
Conservation and heritage, it's fine until we take the Eastern Gateway improvement scheme, which is the roundabout here.
Yeah, okay.
We won a big battle there because they were going, oh, we got listed views of the bridge, the road bridge and everything, but then when they decided they were going to change that, and we asked for a zebra crossing, they said, oh, but it's listed, and then we proved legally it wasn't there, that they could do that. So it's fine up to a point, and then people will go, oh, we'll listen to conversation, conservation, or we won't.
Yeah, so
Yeah. Practical realities always come to play in politics.
yeah. And quality of place as well. It's like Maidenhead quality.
Yes, they're trying to improve that, and an example is the Eastern Gateway. But then it's whose quality? Whose view of quality is it?
Yeah.
Is it the borough council or the local
yeah.
people's view of quality?
The Thames River is a historical listed building with our conservation areas and has been there for over 130 years. Would it be such a shame for Maidenhead to lose this trademark gateway between Maidenhead Bridge?
Yeah, I think so. One, it's loss of yet another hotel, and we're losing hotels in Maidenhead overall. But the other thing is, it's loss of access to the river as an amenity and a view, everything like that. As soon as that's privatised, because they're going to be £1 million plus apartments they want to put in there, and that whole level of access will disappear. So we are losing amenity and losing access, so that is an issue.
What is the latest update with planning development on the River Thames Cafe?
Well, they're meant to have come forward with what they're going to do on the 15th of February, and it's still pending.
So
They haven't come forward. We put in a massive objection individually as the association, and then the individuals did, and we listed about 30 points as why it shouldn't go ahead.
Yeah. Is the Greenbelt land important to the Council of Maidenhead? And explain your reasoning.
It depends on what you mean. Is it important? Is it important to protect, or is it important as a resource to exploit?
Yeah, so like,
and it could go either way.
The community maybe. So is it important to the community today? Do we need the Greenbelt land?
I think people get precious about it, but then when you ask them, they don't really exploit it. The Greenbelt, you can't go off walking and cycling around most of Greenbelt. It's often land owned by somebody. So it's a kind of nice to have in people's heads, and they'll shout and fight about it. But then you say, well, what do you do with it? They don't do anything. It's a balance as to what can you use land for, and does it really matter to people? If people are complaining about the city, the town centre isn't being developed, we'll have less houses being built. And there's not enough money to come in to develop the centre. So it's a chicken and egg really. Then you need houses. Where are you going to put them? And unless you have them, you're not going to get the money flowing into the town. Hard to be a politician, I think.
So besides the points we've already talked about, is there any disadvantages to the property development?
Any disadvantages to the property development? I think the point about loss, particularly within our association here, it's loss of access to the river. I think most other places there may well be some sort of loss of access to something, but it's more pronounced here because the river is spectacular. People like being close to it and everything, so I think it's more appropriate here. And some developments, like further at the other end of our area, are not going to matter, whereas at this end it is going to matter.
It's like a seesaw, you don't know which way. It's got so many positives and so many negatives. There's positives such as the UK is genuinely struggling with lack of houses, but then redeveloping and building so many new houses on areas which should be kept is disgraceful, but we do need more houses, so we have to come to some sort of agreement.